What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today you guys are going to help me brainstorm and set up the framework, the blueprint for a new one-of-a-kind rebuild series here in Madden 23. So last week, kind of self-scouted my YouTube channel just a little bit, and we'll preface this by saying that all of my regular Madden 23 content is not going anywhere. This is not one of those, like, I gotta change it up. We did that a couple years ago where I just straight up said, I'm not doing the 5-year rebuilds anymore. I'm gonna do this 20-year rebuilds, 4 videos per rebuild. And I learned a lot. It didn't really work out, didn't really pan out, but I definitely took a lot from that gamble that I'm gonna be able to apply to this video. But first and foremost, none of our Madden 23 content is going away. Panthers franchise is still here. I absolutely love playing that. Pink Slips is still going to be here. Maybe the uploads will get a little less inconsistent because I only have so much time, especially if I implement this brand new series. And the 5-year rebuild. It's a tried, tested, and true video that I still very much have a lane making those, and I enjoy making them. So those aren't going to be going anywhere. But there's still room for something else. And while, I had 2 ideas. One was, and I remember at the beginning of Madden 23 coming out, I was watching a lot of like Mr. Beast and all these guys that have seemingly figured out the YouTube algorithm and the YouTube robots. And like, there's certain checks that you can make that give your video a high success rate, high retention rate. Make clickbaity thumbnails, make a clickbaity title, make sure the video is like 10 minutes or less so it has higher retention and helps out the YouTube robots push your videos. And I have a bunch of ideas for that type of content. And I'll tell you what, I will try to make some of that because it's still a business at the end of the day. But like, there's a certain degree of like, if I went in right now in the YouTube search bar, I typed in Madden 23, I could tell you right away what content creators are making content for clicks versus what content creators are making videos they really want to make. And I feel like there's a balance there. There's definitely a balance that I want to try to apply, and I want to prioritize versus just going for the clicks right away, or at least trying and chasing after those clicks with, 8-minute rush videos and all these different things, which, again, I'm not knocking anybody that does that. By all means, go for it. And I'm not going to rule it that I won't try to do stuff. If I come up with a video that I think is going to be fun, that can also tick a lot of those boxes, why not? Why wouldn't I make it? But I want to prioritize right now making content that I want to make. And the question to figure out what that content is that if I wasn't a YouTuber, if I wasn't making YouTube videos and I just had Madden 23, like you guys watching out there right now, what would I be doing? Like, what would I be playing? Would it be 5-year rebuilds? It definitely would be more in line with like the Panthers without the storylines, because I wouldn't really make storylines for myself. But it wouldn't be me sitting down here in my office, like waking up on Monday, going down there, like, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and just burning through 5 years. That wouldn't be what I'm doing. That's great for a YouTube video. It's not going anywhere. I appreciate everyone. I'm glad you guys enjoy watching that. But it wouldn't be what I would make. But I still would be doing rebuilds. Back in the days as a kid, I'd always have my Eagles franchise, and I would take like the worst team. If you're not a Raider fan, you're not catching us straight here, but it was usually the Raiders. I love playing as the Raiders and trying to make them good. But I wouldn't do 5 years right in one single day. I'd draw it out a little bit more. I'd want to play with these teams. I wouldn't want as much sim. And, I apply it to what do I do right now. If I'm not playing multiplayer games, I play FIFA all the time. And when I play in FIFA, you start with like a cupcake squad in like the lowest tier of English football, and you go all the way up to the Premiership trying to make a dynasty. I know a lot of people do that, and like that's what I like to do. And that is more in line with what I would do in this brand new rebuild series. I'm not playing FIFA and just trying to go 5 years, try to get the Premiership as fast as I can from A to B. Can I get to the Premiership in a day? I want to enjoy the ride a little bit. And I feel like that's just what's lacking a little bit when you do the 5-year rebuilds. So also applying what I've learned from the last time I did a longer rebuild series. I did 4 videos, 5 years, a video for a 20-year rebuild. That was too long. Now let's look back in the background here. There's a reason why I'm showing this Atlanta team. This is the rebuild we dropped on the weekend. Go check it out. But if once you get into years, years 10 to 20, a lot of the guys that you identify with these teams are straight up either not going to be on the team anymore because they've regressed or they've retired. And I feel like it gets to a point when you do 20 years plus. Like there's other people who say 30-year rebuild, 40, like just the more players that you lose that are real identifiable to the team that you were making that content for, I feel like you lose a lot of momentum. Like there's just something where if I'm doing a Falcons rebuild and I say Kyle Pitts did this play, boom. Drake London did what? Boom. That's what people want to see, especially if you're a Falcon fan looking for new content. If you know these players, you're like, what? He did what? Let me go see that. Versus if I make, I'm year 17 of a rebuild, I say, guys, E-Richards, you got to see what E-Richards did. You got to see what McGill, superstar McGill. Like, you could just tell there's a massive discrepancy in, I don't want to say clickability, but like even just for my content, like, am I going to make a video and try to get super hyped over a guy that doesn't exist? Or do I want to just, focus on the guys that actually are here? And I feel like there's a middle ground there, but you ran into that too much when I did 20-year rebuilds. When you get to those last couple videos, it's just, it's a completely made up team, a completely fictional team. And that gets old when you try to do that for all 32 teams. So I feel like 20 years is too much. 10 years is like a money zone. I've never really done a 10-year rebuild series. So that's kind of what I'm leaning with here right now. I want to do 5 videos per team. They'll be uploaded, obviously, in order. It won't be every single week. It'll probably just be, and again, I want to mix it in with Panthers franchise, Pink's franchise, with the 5-year rebuilds. But we're going to do 5 videos per team, 2 years per video. Because now I'm thinking, what check boxes, not trying to check off all the boxes to make a successful YouTube video, 10 minutes, clickbait, all this stuff. What boxes can I tick for content that I want to create? Step 1, multi-year, 10-year rebuild. Boom, that's what I would make. Step 2 is, how do I apply what we have so much fun with in our franchise videos to the rebuild format? Keith Taylor, Tom Savage, like all these guys that have become kind of memes, legends of my channel. We didn't find out about those guys because through the sim. Right now, 5-year rebuilds, it's 95, 98% sim. You got to get in and play with some of these guys. Like we might, if we were playing this Atlanta Falcons franchise for 5 years, I'm not gonna put that in comments. Maybe like Drake London sucks. Maybe we play with Drake London, he drops the ball all the time. And maybe it's someone like Brian Edwards that's a monster that catches everything his way. Like, I want there to be a way to showcase that. I want there to be a way to showcase the sleepers, the studs, the guys that might come out of nowhere, the guys that play a lot better than their ratings, guys that have an opportunity to become like a cult type hero on the channel. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to find those guys. And that kind of goes into the second point. It's like, if you look at any of the rebuilds, there's a bunch, we'll just say take the top 5 content creators that make rebuild content in Madden. The number one issue, the number one complaint, the number one suggestion that people constantly come up with is they want more gameplay. There is not enough gameplay in rebuilds, in the current landscape of rebuilds. That's what I want to kind of try to bring. Now, I'm not to say that there's not going to be a lot of sim. If we're going 10 years, there's going to have to be some sim. There's going to have to be a lot of sim. It's still going to be a heavy sim series, but there's absolutely room to have a lot more gameplay in the current landscape of rebuilds. That's one thing I also want to bring to this series, is that when you're doing a video for 2 years, it could still be a 35, 45-minute video, and you can have highlights from 6, 7 games. I can give you guys feedback based on me actually hopping in and playing with these teams that we're creating and tell you, man, like, Hicks is absolutely crushing it right now. Like, here's a highlight. We threw 4 touchdowns. He was unstoppable. Here was his bad game. He's not good at getting out of the pocket. Our offensive line sucks. But to apply just those little different aspects that don't currently exist in the landscape of rebuilds, that is something that I want to do. So from that, I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now. I want to do a 10-year rebuild, 5 videos, 2 years in each year, get a lot more gameplay involved, get a lot more attachment to these players, and not just like our players, like the guys that we draft. Like in this Falcons rebuild, we got Hicks, a superstar quarterback, after Desmond Ridder kind of fizzled, and like I can tell you a thing about him. If you watch this rebuild, like Hicks, he simmed well. That's the only feedback that I have. I don't know if he was actually good. I don't know what his strengths or weaknesses were. He simmed well. We got this Richards guy, 6'4" corner, kind of like a Tariq Woolen. I don't know if he's actually dope. I don't know if he's a ball. We just simmed with him. There's no other reason to really care with these guys at this point. And I feel like if you flush it out to 10 more years, get a lot more hands-on with some of these new guys and guys that you're trying to break out and establish. Like Troy Anderson, he's just starting to scratch the surface, I think. What's Troy Anderson going to look like into the prime of his career? You don't really get that in a 5-year rebuild. 10 years, though, opens the scope up just a little bit to let a lot of these guys that are young and developing and the players that you draft get into their primes. And you can enjoy and watch firsthand their primes unfold in every single franchise. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I am completely open. This is a feedback session type video. But that is kind of what I am thinking, man. If you can come with a better name. Like right now I'm leaning 10-year dynasty rebuild is what we're going to call it. But by all means, if there's anything else, like this is your chance. if you are someone that watches all the rebuilds, you watch C4 rebuilds, you watch Bengal rebuilds, you watch Jerome PKR rebuilds, you watch other guys that just make franchise kind of rebuild content, you watch like T.E. Barrett, you watch Mr. Hurricane, you watch all these different, obviously Mr. Hurricane, the GOAT, and there's stuff that you're like not getting 100%. Shoot it in here. There's no bad ideas. I want to try to make this thing as good as possible. So today and this week, really, we're gonna tomorrow will be probably pink slips. We'll get Panthers franchise, and we'll probably have a 5-year rebuild this week. But I'm also behind the scenes. I'm gonna be setting the blueprint so that next Monday we can kick off with this. And I don't even want to say it's experimental, because even if the views don't do particularly good, this is content that I want to create, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching it. But we have an opportunity here to brainstorm a little bit. I really, really do want to vet your guys' feedback there. And if there's anything that you just feel like is missing a little bit, or there's things that you do in your own personal time that you don't really see on YouTube that you think would be cool to see on YouTube as it relates to rebuilds, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. But that will do it for me today, guys. I appreciate any and all feedback that you guys provide. I'm excited to get the wheels going on this new series, and I hope you guys do, and I hope you guys are excited for this as well. That will do it for me today, guys. I will see you back here tomorrow with either pink slips or a Panthers franchise. So until that time, it's your boy C4 saying thanks for watching. Peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.